Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we are back on Rekkles Watch once again, talking about a new update, a new kind of just update to this whole situation. I don't really know what exactly the right word is, but we do have a little bit more information coming out that could maybe change some things, change whether some teams are even available or able to get their hands on Rekkles if he actually does hit the open market. I was all but ready to, wrap up Rekkles Watch, be done with him once Carzy was rumored to be re-signing to Mad Lions, but if you guys didn't see, it seems like that Mad Lions and Carzy deal is not actually finished yet, and there is still potential for Carzy to be a free agent, Carzy to maybe end up at G2, or still for G2 to maybe look for another 80 carry option altogether. So, the Rekkles rumors, the Rekkles on the move, that is not dead yet. This is still a very, very real possibility, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. The likes really, really help the videos and my channel so much. So it just takes, 1 second to go click that button. That'd be awesome. Subscribe to save today on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. So here we go. We have this tweet from Carlos where he says, off season, he's looking out, he's getting ready to do some scheming. So we know that he's really, really active. There's a ton of people saying, oh, it's only September. Oh, Worlds hasn't even started. Oh, teams aren't in off season mode. But it looks to me like Carlos is in full off-season mode. Not only does this mean looking out at other teams and free agents and everything and looking at who he wants, but obviously on the flip side, part of that is going to be looking at who is giving him some juicy offers for his players, because he has a couple of big ones on the market, Rekkles being included. And there were just some really, really funny memes that I thought were included with this. Fosty posted this TikTok where he says, Carlos has only poached one player so far, and your spot is safe for now, and just all this stuff, because we know Carlos at the end of the day is a ruthless businessman, and we know Mad Lions, they're getting ready for Worlds right now, and Carlos is trying to poach their players while they're practicing and training and stuff. And some people think it's gross and disgusting, but some people just say, Carlos wants to win at every means necessary by the end of the day, which I just think, is really, really funny. But one of the big tweets I wanted to talk about, and what I think is a very, very big update to this situation, a lot of people have been talking about, how big of a contract or how big of a buyout Rekkles is going to demand, and whether certain teams will be able to pay it or not. And we have this tweet from Eros. Obviously, this guy, you got to be a little bit careful, take everything with a grain of salt. It seems like, he hasn't been 100% with his rumors this offseason, but again, people are just claiming that there's verbal agreements in place and all this, so you never really know. Nothing's official. It's only September, but he is saying here, he tweeted out 8 numbers, and I am being told, I've talked to other sources as well, this is kind of the rumor going around the rumor mill right now, people talking behind the scenes about what they're hearing, is that this is an 8-digit buyout, in total for Rekkles. Again, this is a guy with an insane resume, an insane brand, huge fan base, huge following. He can help get you these insane brand deals. Like, look at what G2 has done this year with Ralph Lauren and stuff like that. He gets so many eyeballs on you. He's going to sell so much merchandise, all of these things. Also, 2 years on that contract still. So you're still getting, 2 years of one of the greatest Western 80 carries of all time. And we've seen what Doublelift was able to do in North America. If you had Doublelift, you were winning LCS titles, you were going to Worlds all the time. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people who are going to say Rekkles is better than Doublelift, if not significantly better than Doublelift. And getting, the best Western 80 carry of all time into the LCS or into one of these other teams in the LEC is going to be a big deal. But obviously, an 8-figure price tag is going to price a lot of teams out of the, out of this, I have heard some people say that if it is true, what I've heard is between 10 and 13 million. I don't know if that's euros or dollars, but if that is the number being thrown around, I've heard people say that Vitality might not even have that much, or if they do have that much, they might not even be willing to throw that much around. We know TSM has this FTX money, which I believe is $20 to $21 million per year, and obviously they have the money to throw 10 to 13 million around, but is that something they would necessarily want to do? Is this another question? Is this even a good investment? Are you going to see return on investment from buying out players for this much? Because if you think back to this last offseason, the 2 biggest buyouts were Perks for however many millions, and then we also saw Sword Art not bought out but just signed to a multi-million-dollar contract, and Cloud9 is the 3 seed at Worlds, and who knows how they're going to do. Perks has been good, but he hasn't been amazing. And then Sword Art and TSM, they didn't even make it to Worlds. So two of the teams spending the most money, two of the teams shelling out these huge dollar amounts and huge contracts and stuff. Not only have they probably not seen a return on investment, like business-wise, but they haven't seen a return on investment really on the Rift either. With 100 Thieves ends up taking the championship, Team Liquid, ends up being one of the better teams in spring and summer. Yes, Cloud9 got an LCS title. Yes, Cloud9 made it to MSI, and yes, they are going to Worlds, so they end up better off than TSM, but our teams may be thinking twice before shelling this out once again. But then obviously you have TSM on the other hand, who with Bjergsen coming back, or at least wanting to entice Bjergsen to come back, wanting to put a really, really great roster around him, and as crappy as it is, if you have to pay 10, 11, 12, 13 million, whatever, getting Rekkles could make or break a lot of teams' rosters. If it's not Rekkles for TSM, who's it going to be? Yes, I know people are saying, oh, Doggo or Deakdam or, Huan Fang or whatever, but are any of those guys going to come? I don't know. If one of those guys comes, yes, you have a solid replacement. I know Deft is rumored to Team Liquid and stuff like that, but what if you're not able to get these guys? What if Rekkles is the man for the job? And if you don't get him, you're risking whatever your other options are going to be. Obviously, I think Lost was kind of a big disappointment for TSM this year. I think people expected him to come in and be a little bit better than he was. I think people really thought he held back the team in a big way. Obviously, this last TSM team had a lot of holes and stuff, but I did just think this is really, really interesting that we're starting to actually get a dollar amount. And again, at the end of the day, that's just what Carlos and G2 are asking. That doesn't mean they're going to be able to get that much, but they do actually have a lot of leverage because obviously G2 still hopes to be a top team in 2022, so they always have the option to hold on to Rekkles. Now, the one thing that could happen is once or if G2 does end up getting Carzzy or another AD carry or whatever, they're going to lose a lot of leverage because then, they're not going to keep 2 AD carries. They're not going to keep Carzzy and Rekkles on the roster, you assume, or you're not going to keep them both on the salary. So some teams, there could be a strategy to maybe wait this out. Maybe make G2 be the person to play the first hand, to play the first decision. Because G2 can't wait too long either. If G2 waits and waits and waits, and they do want to move on from Rekkles, if they wait and wait and wait, all the other AD carries could be gone. They could be on different teams, and then they'd have no options left. They'd have to keep Rekkles. Obviously, that would leave the original teams without Rekkles as well. But if G2 has to be careful not to get too greedy, to not play their, not overplay their hand. But obviously, the other teams have to be careful as well because there's only so many great AD carries out there. There's only so many great players out there. There's only so many Rekkleses out there. And I get it. A team like BDS, a team like Team Vitality, that would be an awesome boost to their fan base, to their revenue, to their socials, everything. But is it worth it for them? Do they even have that money? Are they even going to shell out that money? Does this price tag really price out everyone except for maybe TSM, maybe Team Liquid as well? I don't know, but this is definitely at least information I think some people should know. Again, it's coming from Eros, but I'm also hearing this from other sources as well. Rekkles might be the 10, 11, 12, $13 million man this offseason. Is he worth it? I don't know, but it's at least some more information for you guys to have. So definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Would you spend $10 million for Rekkles? Do you think he's worth it? Do you think it's going to be a bad investment for whoever ends up paying this? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!